All right, we're doing a little bit of was it Lobovember? um, doing this piece right here. He's taking on the new 52 Lobo, which I like to call low blow. Yeah, and then I'm hearing now that the what is it logo is very popular. Might have to draw that character one of these days. I guess they're going to be coming out with some new books for him. But this is ultimately the main man. This is a Simon Bisley Lobo, as far as I'm concerned. We'll be doing some inks tonight, and yeah, I'm getting in here. Just gonna clean some of this up right now with the with my Tombow eraser. So just kind of going over it really lightly, so I don't lighten up the inks. Be very careful with that. Trying to start the week off pretty strong. Having a little bit of black coffee right here. Looking forward to the next draw stream. I already have 3 ideas lined up. I just don't know what I'm going to go with. Just a lot of things kind of riding on that decision right now, but we'll see. There's always like an ultimate quest trying to find the perfect eraser that will erase your stuff without lightening up the inks. That's the hard part. So you just want to keep it erasing light. And I don't know, I usually use the Tombows now. Tombow eraser with Tombow inks. And that helps a lot. So yeah. There's a lot of different ways you could draw a Lobo too. This is like the old school Lobo right here, like one of the first 2 issues. We had his hair look like I called it the Goku hair. Lobo had the Goku hair in the beginning. I don't know. I just think it looks the most original. It's kind of like Wayne Static from Static X. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, my name is Batt Murk. I'm an independent comic book creator, cartoonist, and this is my channel. I do reviews on movies and comics. I do live draw streams weekly, and I also make comic books too on the side. So thanks for stopping by, everybody, and if you like what you see, please subscribe. Trying to build a community over here too as well. Like-minded individuals that are into making comics, reading comics, that type of stuff. It's kind of a dying form too, and I do everything. Right now, I'm doing everything. Traditionally. Braxton Simeon, thanks for stopping by. You freehand drew that? Yes, I do. I draw everything freehand. Try to get it out of my pluck something out of my head, and then and draw it. And then I start out with these thumbnails. That's usually how I do it. This one though, I actually started drawing on my buddy stream. We were doing a Biztober where we picked some Simon Bisley characters. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Well, I've been drawing forever, man. I'm 42, so I've been drawing since I was 4, so many decades. But I got a lot to learn, man. That's the thing about art, man. You never stop learning with art. There's always so much to learn. Even with comic book art, you can just sit there and learn, like you spend your whole life on drawing comics, and you'll still never learn everything. Oh, thanks. I appreciate the sub. Yeah. Then after this, I'm gonna go watch Deathstalker again. It just came out about a week ago. I rented it for a week, so I want to go watch it one more time. I thought it was a really fun movie. I'm going to drop a review of that probably tomorrow morning. Probably going to get into a little bit of rum here in a minute. It's been been having a pretty good week. Can't complain. Yeah, I make up my own comics, my own characters. I'm starting a website pretty soon. where I'll have all my comics on there. You can pick them up now on fundmycomic.com. But I'm working on my new book right now. It's called Hell War. But I also have 2 other comics out. If you wanted to pick them up, it's Butch Cleaver and Butch Cleaver 2. It's a gothic horror western about this butcher who gets killed and he's brought back to life by a voodoo curse, and that curse gives him the power to weaponize bone on a molecular level. So, but I did this like 10 years ago, the first one. So, you know, then I you know, started getting better. I'm better now than I was, you know. And then I'm going to be starting my new book, Hell War. I'm going to start lettering that pretty soon. Yeah, I'm going to be getting back into lettering, so that's going to be a challenge. You can see even the lettering gets better on this book, you know. It's just you wear different hats when you do everything by yourself. So once I start lettering, then I'll start flexing my lettering muscles, you know, and there's a lot of different programs you can use. I usually use Blambot. And if I was a real G, I would just hand letter everything with the Ames letter guide, you know. But that would take forever. The Ames letter guide. Let's see. I don't have one lying around right here, otherwise I'd show you, but you could get them at Michael's. They're like $3. And the hand lettering's cool too, you know. I really got this thing for people that really do their own work. You know what I mean? That really hand letter everything, hand draw everything. I'm really into it. Thanks, man. Jasmine Beltran Alicia, can you sign one for me? Yeah, I sign all my comics, I sign everything. Whenever I sell them, you know. Yeah, I do. I usually do black or silver ink. Got to keep it metal, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I have these up on fundmycomic.com. If you go to that website, you'll see Butch Cleaver on there, and then those will pop up. But I'm gonna have my own. I'm building my own site right now. It's gonna have like my books up there, and then I'll probably have like 3 pieces of art that I'm selling. I'm gonna be selling like my traditional art. That way people could buy it, you know, because some of my art I'm going to save for my kids, and then some of it I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Just have it, you know. Maybe someone might want to buy it, you know. So could die with your art. Roman Reigns would be a good Lobo. Yeah, he would actually. He would be a good Lobo. Yeah. Used to be in a drawing. It was pretty good, but that's when I was in middle school. Yeah, I actually stopped drawing in middle school. And I stopped for 10 years, and I got into rock and metal, and I started playing in bands. Then once I started in my early 20s, and I got back into drawing again. So yeah, it's always a good time to jump back in. That's one thing about drawing. You could bounce, and then you could always come back to it. You know, it'll always be there for you. And it is a muscle that you have to flex, and you have to work out. Awesome. Where can I? Oh, okay. Yeah, you go to fundmycomic.com. That's a new website. It's a funding platform. It's like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, but it's made by comic book creators for comic book creators. And it's only about maybe 1.5 to 2 years old. What I have on there, actually, you can have a campaign or you can have a storefront. So what I did was, why don't I just make a storefront for my Butch Cleaver books, you know, instead of having a campaign. I had already got everything done already from previous campaigns. And so this is just the last inventory of my first prints for those. So if people wanted to pick them up, they could just go there. And I wanted it on a website where people were like looking at comics. So they're scrolling through all the comics they could see mine too, you know. Try to have it like a hub, you know, like a comic store. But a lot of the books on there are they're in funding mode now. Mine's storefront, so you could just buy it and I'll mail it to you like within a week or less. Usually it's the next day. So there's that. And then right now I'm working on my new book, Hell War. I've been working on this book. Hell War has been taking me forever to do. So, and it's a bounty. It's a Norse bounty hunter right here. That's Hell War, and that's his horse. But this book's going to be black and white. It's not going to be in color. So let's just let you guys know. Okay, what bands were you in? What you played? Yeah, I was a singer. I was in a band called Hourglass. I was in a band called Lazarus Casket. I'm in a band now with my buddy Dave called Nightmare Nemesis. We're kind of like a studio band. We don't really jam that much. But hopefully in the future we'll start doing it again. I want to start playing again. It's hard to play in a band when you're you know, you got kids and you work and stuff, but I wouldn't mind having one. Wouldn't mind playing a show like every quarter. That'd be pretty awesome. It's a fun way to just kind of express yourself artistically and get out there and just kind of do things. But yeah, I'm trying to get my old music up on the internet right now. A lot of it's on CD format. We have to like basically turn it into waves. Some of it's out there, but the quality's ass. So I'm trying to get some of that up there. I do have a song for Butch Cleaver. If you guys go to on my channel, if you look for the Butch Cleaver song, it'll be on there, and the lyrics are all in there too. And I got a song for Hell War that I recorded vocals for. So that's going to come out. I'm going to launch the campaign for Hell War in March, hopefully. I'm on the last page right now. I would show you guys, but it'd be a spoiler. It's like a huge spoiler. The book's going to be crazy dimensions, though. It's going to be like it's going to be almost like a square. It's going to be all in black and white. And let me see if I could kind of show a little bit without revealing too much. There's a little bit right there. I don't want to spoil too much, but if I show too much, it'll just it'll spoil the whole ending of the book. You'll be like, "What the hell is that?" And it's going to be 100 pages long. So, oh, nice, awesome. Yeah, the Butch Cleaver books are more expensive, but going forward, I'm going to try to make my comics more affordable for me to produce and for me to put out. And they're going to be in black and white, so they won't be in color. So if you guys are into like manga and stuff, it probably shouldn't be that much of an issue. I know for me, I've grown fond of black and white artwork now. I really like it. I just like the textures and such, and just a lot you could do with it too. Yeah. So there's that, and then I have some other projects I'm working on too that I haven't really announced yet. There's some stuff that like for Hell War, I've been talking about it. I should have had it done about maybe 2 years ago. I was planning on it taking me a year to do, but then I realized it's not realistic. So now I don't really announce things until I'm almost done with them. So I technically announced two things. I'm working on that, and I'm working on a vampire hunter book called The Puritanian that my buddy's writing and I'm illustrating. So that's the next book I'm working on, and that's going to be fun. So if you guys are into gothic horror, kind of like Van Helsing and you know like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, or more like the Hammer movies, the Hammer films from like the 1970s, then you might like the Puritanian. But that's going to be a shorter comic, black and white, but it'll be fun. Yeah. But yeah, I sign all my stuff, and the books now they'll be coming with some tchotchkes too, like stickers and stuff like that. Let's see. Yeah, those are cool. Let's see. Jasmine, Beltran, Alyssa. Yeah, those are cool. Everyone must have a black and white one. They're more collecting, more expensive. Yeah, absolutely. There's that. And then black and white, just like it works really cool, I think, for like horror, sword and sorcery, and even like stuff like Sin City, that kind of hard boiled detective or kind of noir, if you will. That type of comic, those all go pretty good. I think once you start getting into sci-fi and like the superhero stuff, you kind of want to have more color. I think there's that. But then on the same topic, I do like color as well. Like you're always going to wonder what your work is going to look like in color. Especially if it's in black and white all the time. So, but yeah, I'm going to be putting stuff out in black and white going forward, as far as I know. Let's see here. A lot to clean up right here. Yeah, and then I got some stuff that'll come with the on the campaign right now. That's one cool thing about the campaign. You'll have some free tchotchkes come with the stuff when you buy it. Yeah, Spawn's awesome. I like Spawn. I can't wait for the new Spawn coming out this month, the medieval Spawn. So I have some cards right here. This is that's the possum. Opie the old possum. You got like power grids in the back and stuff. He's a bounty hunter in the book. That's the voodoo doll. That's from Butch Cleaver. That's another one. You got his power grids in the back too. You got Butch in his bull tour. Right there, he's fighting some zombie voodoo dolls. And you got Moth Mammon right here. It's another character. It's kind of like a guide. You got old Butch Cleaver right there. He's got his own card. There's another one right there. He got his power grid in the back. See, so it's like little thing in the back. Side notes. Has the ability to turn into bone dust. Has the ability to reanimate animal bones. Has to drink whiskey milk to survive. Has the ability to control and weaponize bone. His stamina is at a 4. His special powers the dead bone hex, and his intelligence is at a 3. His speed is at a 3, and his stamina is at a 4. So he's kind of. There's a sticker too by 6 a.m. Comics. Comes with that. Got a bumper sticker right here. Then I got a homie card right here. Preston Azevedo doing his take on my character. And then the homie death metal hero, Luke Aguilita, he's doing Butch Cleaver. That's a homage to Robert Rodriguez and Antonio Banderas from Desperado. So, yeah. And I wanted to kind of do the black and white like the Universal horror and EC horror stuff. I think Butch Cleaver would work good in black and white too, so let's see here. All right, keep cleaning this up. Try not to lighten up the inks. That's the hard part. Have you met any worth naming artists? Yeah, I've met Todd McFarlane, Mike Mignola, Eric Powell. Almost met Guillermo del Toro. I was gonna meet him. My wife's like, "Go meet him. He's right there." But I just like, I'm gonna go over here real quick. He'll be there. He wasn't there when I went back. I met him. Neil Adams. I think I named him. Yeah, Steve Niles. He's a writer, but he's a good writer. I like his 30 Days at Night. I met Arthur Adams. He's awesome. Joe Madureira, John Boy Myers. Yeah, bunch of people at Comic-Con. I've been to Comic-Con like 3 times. So John Boy Myers was awesome. Really nice guy. He actually bought one of my books. I was trying to just give him away, and he bought it. He's like, "I understand the hustle, man." I'm like, "Oh, sure, if you want." Because I had little giveaway, like little kind of first issue ones back then. Little 20 pagers. Let's see. But now it's weird. Like a lot of people are just on the internet now, so you kind of want to get your books out there, but you also want to get them on the ground too. Try to do conventions as well. Comic books are really niche now. Let's see here. What's the most expensive comic that you own or come across? I don't really collect I'm not really like a big comic book like high end collector. But it would probably be like Tomb of Dracula. I think that one might be worth a couple hundred, or maybe 100 and something. I'm sure I have a bunch of comics, but I don't know how expensive a lot of them are. But yeah, there's a lot of books that I would like to collect, just to kind of have in my collection, or even put on my wall, you know. Yeah. There's some comics I have that are like in collected forms, you know, but if I was to have the original floppy, that would be awesome, but I don't. Got a lot of Image comics from back in the day. Number ones. A lot of people do. That was when I got into comics. It was during the whole Image time, like Spawn and the Max. I love the Max. He was always my favorite. The Max and Spawn. And Pitt was pretty cool. I like Pitt. And the Darkness was cool too, but that came out kind of like a little bit later. At least I remember seeing it later. I don't remember seeing it around the same time as Spawn was. I probably started coming in a little later. You got a Spawn that was worth 400? Wow. You sold it? What number was it? Wonder what number that was. It wasn't a number one, because I don't think the number ones are worth that much. I have a number one in pretty good condition. It might have been like a number 30 or something like that. Let's see. Yeah. Because some of those, yeah. Some of them are hard to get. There's so many Spawn comics now, though. Really blew up. He was always the coolest looking character, though. Like, let's be real, right? Spawn just looked the most badass. And then you have all the different versions, like the one Liam Sharp's doing. That's the one I'm looking forward to. The Dark Ages Spawn's coming out on Wednesday. Oh, okay. Yeah, people were pushing 600. Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty good price. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple more people I'd like to meet. I want to meet Walter Simonson. He's like a big influence on me. I like his Ragnarok book. It's really cool. Love to meet Simon Bisley. He's one of my favorite artists. It's weird though. It's like if you're gonna meet the artist, like one of your favorite artists, I don't know. I guess you get him to sign something, but for me, I'd almost like to just ask him, like, you know, how do you do this, or what was your secret on that? You know, how did you accomplish this? Stuff like that. Also, I've also met Kelly Jones. He's been on this show with Matt Wagner too. Did a interview for Dracula. That was dope. Had them on a couple times. Might try to get them on next year as well. We'll see what happens. Yeah, some of the inks got lightened from the erasing, so I have to go back and re-ink it. That's something I don't like to do. It's always a pain. I've got that. try a little bit of something different right here for this spatter right here. Go up. Let's see this right here. Switch to one of these pins. Someone's bumping outside. Get that sub knock. So you squeeze a little bit more into this. It's almost out of ink. I'm gonna hit up the refill cartridge. I like to get every little last bit out of there, you know. And I think this year I'm probably gonna start switching over to more nibs and brushes. I think doing a lot of dippings, a lot of these Windsors right here. So that'll be fun. Just a little bit more of that. All right. Right. Let that dry a little bit down there. I'll probably put a little bit more of this right here. See, that'll dry a little bit better like that. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Let me start working on this cloud up here of smoke. Gonna have a lot of smoke right there. Yeah, that Deathstalker movie is pretty funny. If you guys are into like Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 2, a little bit of Hercules and Xena, you're definitely gonna like Deathstalker. And that Daniel Bernhardt, I think he really brought the character to life. A little bit of Hellboy in there too. If I do if I do say so. All right. A little bit of the bow. Thanks for everybody watching. Appreciate it. Gonna be doing some more metal cartoonist videos, some nuggets, some ideas for everyone out there. Haven't done one in months. It's good to have like a little update. Let people know what's up. Right. Can't wait for that Sisu movie to come out on Friday, man. That first one was a classic. I only seen it one time and I just like fell in love with it. Can't wait to buy it, you know. But I haven't been buying any movies really lately. I think I only bought one movie on digital. It was Hellboy, The Crooked Man. Everything else has been just on demand and whatnot and renting it. And nowadays, I think it's cool to buy movies, but I haven't been doing it. There hasn't been really too many movies where I'm just like, wow. A lot of the Marvel movies have been ass lately. I haven't liked everything after basically Endgame. I kind of liked some of the stuff with Moon Knight, but he was only in the TV show, like in the costume for like 10 minutes, and the show was like 6 to 8 hours long, something like that. And Daredevil's cool, but it's just, it's right there on TV. And that show, I don't know. The new season could have been a little bit better, but some of the stuff was really cool about it. Felt like it was a little more comic booky. He was moving around a little more like the Daredevil from the comic, as far as like acrobatically jumping around in the city. He wasn't really doing that as much in the first show on Netflix. So that was one thing they got right on the Ben Affleck movie, one by Mark Steven Johnson, I think. And then I heard that like someone in Saudi Arabia or the Saudis might be buying up Warner Brothers, and if they're going to do that, they're going to restore the Snyderverse. They're trying to do that too, something that'll rival Marvel. Shouldn't be too hard though. Marvel's not really doing too well right now. but the James Gunn movies aren't really doing good. I like the Snyder movies way more so far. Didn't like Superman that much. To be honest, I got to go back and finish the last half of the movie. I was just kind of bored. I fell asleep. He was just kind of getting his butt whipped the whole time, and he had a bunch of people in the movie that wasn't really named Superman kind of stealing the show. It was like watching Justice League or something. I don't know. I'd rather go with the Snyderverse over the Gunverse. To be honest with you, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they need to get their shit together though. Regardless, doing a Clayface movie and there ain't even like a Batman movie out yet. It's kind of weird. I hate to say it, but his first movie should have been Batman. It should have been a new Batman movie, but I'm glad he didn't do it because he would have jammed it up like he did Superman. Because unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Batman is DC. He's like Atlas, from Greek mythology, holding up, what is it, Tartarus? He's Atlas. Like all of DC rests on Batman's shoulders. Unfortunately. So when if you're gonna keep rebooting it, you have to keep rebooting it with Batman, but you got to do it right. Unless you do a really good Superman, Snyder's that Man of Steel is pretty good, and it did good numbers, but they didn't want him to do they didn't want him to do the Superman sequel. They wanted him to do Batman vs Superman so they can get Batman in there. I don't know. And then the Robert Pattinson Batman, I don't know, man. It's all right. But I just can't buy him as Batman. I don't know. He's just not tough enough. I just don't buy him as Batman or Bruce Wayne. Maybe like a super young one. I know he is in the movie, but by the time the second movie comes out, he's going to be like, what, 40 years old or something? Dude don't look 40. He looks like he's in his 20s still. Ben Affleck, yeah, that dude looks like Batman, dude. Let's see. Saw Alien versus, or what is it? Not Alien versus Predator, the Predator movie. Let's see here. Astro, upgraded. Zane edits. God damn. Hey, how you doing, man? I dug that Predator movie though. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it though. Oh yeah. I definitely did all this. Yep. Still working on it. Got some more buildings to do over here, and something's up with this ink. It's been, I don't know, just kind of spreading. That's good. Good to hear you're doing good. Yeah, this is. Get that there. Come back and. Here, I hope you're doing good. Let's see. Yeah, some of this pencil and ink. I wonder why I did this. Oh, I think I know what happened. Oh, okay. It'll be all right, though. That'll be okay. It'll still be a decent piece. Gotta get rid of that. Mad God. That was another movie I needed to watch. I need to go on my phone. I need to go on my... Hey, how's it going, Sarah Crawford? Thanks for stopping by. You artist, I think you should be an artist in art and pull that in there. Oh, thanks. So many movies I want to watch. I need to make a list on my phone. Mad God was one of them. I want to check out The Void. That movie looked crazy. I just watched Weapons. That movie was crazy. Very good movie. Yep. I got a bunch of stuff lined up for the next draw streams too. For the rest of the month. I ain't gonna lie, I like drawing versus stuff. Oh, you could draw like this. You could draw better than this. You just gotta practice. It's just like anything else, you know? It's just practicing. And then asking people like to critique your stuff a little bit. You know? I don't ask for critiques, but I've gotten it and it's helped me out a lot. It really has. If you can get people that like you respect. I've had people I respect critique my work, you know? Didn't ask them, but they just did. And I was like, oh, okay. You could do this and that. Who was it I talked to? I talked to Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy. I showed him my Butch Cleaver comic. Tried to give him one, but he was like, yeah, you can have it. He's like, take your shit, get out of here. But he's like, yeah, you can work on anatomy and, you know, this and that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Start studying more anatomy. You know? Yeah, so if someone comes up to you and gives you a comic or something and you're a big star, they want you to keep it. They're not just saying, you know, unless they say, can you critique this? Give it back. Let's see here. Did you watch MC? Oh, not yet. No, I still got to watch that Madness Combat. Yeah, I have. I remember you're telling me about that like about a month ago, right? I got to write that down. Madness Combat. Yeah, I got to get a new planner. This year I'm actually going to use it. Madness Combat. And then what was the other one? Mad. Oh, I forgot. Mad Dog or something like that. Mad Dog. I think that was the name of it. People worry about crits. I don't do them anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of like a lot of different emotions and politics and critique shit sometimes. Depends on you have to like you have to go to certain people, you know. But I've had people just tell me stuff and I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know. I take whatever people tell me, you know. I'll use it. But I don't ask for critiques anymore. I stopped doing it like years ago. I know I could get better though, you know. You can always level up from people. You never know what they're gonna see, you know. Cause I see people critiquing other people, and I'm thinking the same thing, but I don't say nothing, you know. Like a guy might be drawing a thumb on a chick like backwards or some shit, you know, or like on the opposite or upside down or just kind of weird. And I could be doing the same thing too, you know, or even forget. But I won't say nothing. It's not, you know, unless someone asks for it, I'm not gonna, you know. And I don't feel like I've been doing it long enough to even say anything. Let's see here. Matt Jolly, I have to check that out. There's a lot of Matts in here. We got Matt Jolly, Matt LaRock, and Matt Burke. Let's see here, Matt Jolly. See, I'm putting it down in my. I never even use this planner. It's almost like the end of the year. Get them at the Dollar Tree. They're good to have. Some people just want to hear that they're awesome. They don't want to get better. No, I know, man. It's true. There's just certain things that they're just facts. You know what I mean? Even if you have like a style, you know, that's usually what the critiques will say. Like, hey, well, this is kind of weird looking, unless that's your style. And you're like, oh no, that ain't my style. No, I fucked it up. Yeah, so yeah. Then I see things in my work that I feel like I fucked up, but I'm not going to go back and redraw it. I'll just try to make the next one better. It's always trying to make the next one better. Make the next comic better. Like right now, like if you look at my Hell War book that I've been working on for 3 years, you're gonna see like in the beginning of the book, you'll see me change. And the art gets a little better sometimes, but not all the time. Some pages might be worse than others. But the thing is, I look at like The Crow, man, by James O'Barr. Like his art gets better, like from the beginning all the way to the end. So that's the way I always see it now. Like, don't ever go back and redraw your book. That's I don't know, unless it's going to be like a magnum opus that people are going to like worship when you're dead or some shit. But other than that, nah, just keep drawing the book, and that's my advice. Keep drawing your book, and then if it sucks, then the next one will be better. And it's just a learning experience. Because I figure life's too short, and if you're a comic book creator, you're going to have more than one story to tell. Let's see here. In college, we were really matter of fact. What works and what doesn't. It taught me a lot. Oh yeah, it makes sense. 100%. And like I'm already like kind of like changing up my style a lot. I see like the way other artists do certain things, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that now. I redraw pages. Let's see. What's up, Astro? Thanks for coming back. But only after the book is done. I need to have some distance from the work to properly evaluate it. Yeah, yeah, definitely takes some time. I do that with songs too sometimes if I'm working on one, and if I have the ability to kind of change it or the work. I do that with I would do that with my comics too, but um there's just too many works that I'm too many things I'm working on. The book that I have now, I might go back and redraw like maybe a page or two, but I got like 100 pages, so I don't want to have to, yeah. But as far as like a book, I know that's a big pet peeve for a lot of people, is that when you're reading the book and then the art changes, like damn, this person's art got really good, or oh, this fucking they switched artists, or if it's one person, like I said, if the art gets better, um, you know, that's pretty cool. Like again with the Crow, you can see his art get better, and then he's got different styles, and he's like experimenting, and it's kind of an indie thing though, dude. Too, like the mainstream guys don't really do that shit. They have editors, and like, no, it's a monthly. We got things we have to do. We got rules here, you know. But yeah. Redraw pages, I'll redraw the whole book. Never get done. I did that with my first book. I redrew the whole book because it wasn't good enough. And now I would go back and redraw it again and again. I just keep redrawing it. I would never get anything else done. It's never going to be good enough, You just gotta put that baby out into the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like with kids. A lot of people like, never gonna have enough money to have a kid. There's never gonna be a right time to have a kid, and there's never gonna be enough money to have a kid. But if you do have a kid, you'll find a way no matter what. God will provide. It will happen. Never a right time, never enough money. But if you want one, it will survive. Let's see here. At a certain point, redrawing makes for a lot of self-doubt, and that needs to be avoided to be moving forward. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is though, I'm gonna go in and if there's anything I can edit, kind of draw in or like kind of white some shit out and redraw, maybe an arm or things like that. I'm definitely gonna do that, but I don't know if I'm gonna redraw that many pages. But I probably will redraw like at least a page or two if I have to. I don't want to though. But I plan on having an editor on my book, so. And I have like dialogue to get through the story. I'm not writing like Hamlet or anything. It's just like an action adventure. You know, there'll be plot holes and shit like that. You know, but it's not going to be something that I just want people to read it real quick. Even though it's 100 pages, it'll be a lot of action too. But definitely want an editor. And I have some working dialogue. I'm definitely gonna expand on the dialogue as well. But it's like a lot of times nowadays, everybody wants like an explanation for everything. Like everything in the story needs to be explained. You know, even in movies, like you have to explain every fucking thing for everybody. Like that, you can't just trust your audience sometimes. It's like, I saw this in the movie or I read this in the book, but they didn't say exactly what it was. So I thought that was, how am I supposed to know? It's like, well, it doesn't really matter. Some things don't really matter. Like you can, it could be what you want it to be, And sometimes, it doesn't really need to be explained or have time. It's not really important. And I have a lot of stuff like that in my new book that I'm not going to explain. I have a lot of there's going to be some like stuff that goes into his past, and it's going to cause more questions. People might be like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And what's this? And da-da-da-da. And it's like, yep, that's what you're going to get. That's what like another book could kind of flesh out a little bit. I kind of like mystery. I like characters to be mysterious in stories. Sometimes I don't like everything to be spoon fed to me, and I don't know. It just seems like everybody needs to have everything explained. All the lore's got to be there. Sometimes less, like trust your audience. Sometimes less is more. The less you know keeps you interested, keeps you intrigued. I don't know. I try not to. I go at things like as a barbarian now. I don't really go at things with a microscope. I'm just like, entertain me, And at that point, if I really like it, then I might come back at it and like really just start to butcher it and come at it with a microscope and start doing all these deep dives and deep thoughts and start adding political like reasons behind it and did it. It's like, let's see here. I like to keep things mysterious. I remember Star Wars: New Hope in the theater in the days where every character didn't have a name and an action figure, and it was cool. Exactly, man. Like look at Wolverine. You didn't know who he was, Like my character Hellwar, I'm gonna give you like a tiny little bit of his origin in there, but you're really never gonna know who the fuck he is, Like you think you're gonna know, but I'm never gonna fully explain it. I mean, people will be able to figure it out. I'll like have it on the last page of the book. There'll be a little something going on. You'll look at it and you'll think, But definitely Odin's looking over him in the story and watching everything. I'll tell you that much. And he's not Thor. Thor's dead in my book. Thor and Odin are both dead. Loki's dead. There's just Hel. I call her Hel Nora. And there may be a couple other gods that survived Ragnarok in the 90s. Yeah, that shit used to really hang me up, man. Like I'm on a book and I have like a kind of a style that I'm working on, and then subconsciously your art style changes through the book, and then you want to draw certain things certain ways. But yeah, now I just don't. Now that doesn't even bother me. I don't even care anymore. Just kind of do the book, do your best. Like if I put out it's just people's style always changes. So there's nothing you could do. Like you look at even Jim Lee's Hush Batman, compared to like, was it 30 years ago? The new one looks a lot like the old one, but he's got a new costume now. He draws them a little different. You look at Hellboy, he doesn't draw him the same. Mike Mignola, he looks a little different. Not all artists are like that, but some are. Yeah. Let's see here. Kind of want this to be a little blacker. Yep. It's just like your first few bucks are going to kind of probably suck, or not be that great, but you get better. Just like with everything, When people's styles don't change, it's weird. Like, aren't you learning anything day to day? Yeah, right. Like, there's some people. Well, I mean, I think once you kind of get to your style, that's cool though. Like if you found like what you're known for, like your niche, like a Bruce Timm or something like that. But then once you have your kind of identity style, then you can kind of play inside the guardrails, Like Bruce Timm, he'll do like these like kind of rated R drawings that you don't really see him draw, like stuff like that. But there's like, hey, you got a style, but maybe you haven't learned how to paint with that style. Maybe you're like a comic book penciler or inker, but you never paint, Like Alex Ross, he's kind of got his style, He hasn't really changed too much. Who else? Walter Simonson, he's kind of got that style. He hasn't really changed too much. Bisley, I feel like he's always changing. Like it's just always different all the time with Simon Bisley. A lot of the time because he's always experimenting. That I like. But you get people like Kyle Hotz. His style just gets better and better. I think. Even though like his I think his mausoleum or mosaic was like a master class even for the time. But his like stuff he's doing now is even on another level. Some people too, like they go to simplicity. Like they've mastered their style, and they kind of. I think Mike Mignola really mastered his style from Hellboy, and then now he kind of chills and doesn't. He makes it even more simplified. But I guess what's kind of weird about his style is he kind of does this massive amount of work and then goes in there and starts adding and starts subtracting, and starts adding shadows and blocking in his lights and his shadows. And I think that's a lot of work too. It's a lot of forecasting and guessing like what things are going to look like put up against each other. Hey, how's it going, Astro? You look at someone like Frank Miller too. He experimented a lot with his style, like with Lone Wolf and Cub, and Ronin when he came back with that, and then Sin City. That was like I saw an interview with him when he was talking about it. I think Sin City is his best work, personally. And Dark Knight Returns is pretty crazy. He was always experimenting, and then now he's kind of doing this weird kind of. It's almost like an indie style. I think his it's like whatever, I think his art has regressed in style. I don't know why he's really doing that style right now, but I know he's had some health issues. So, but I think we're kind of lucky just to kind of have him doing it. So that's the cool thing about it. But yeah, a lot of people like to talk a lot of shit about Frank Miller's new art style. But it's kind of been similar since the Dark Knight. Was it Dark Knight 2? I think. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm gonna go get some. Wow, we reached the 1 hour point. I'm gonna go get some rum. And happy birthday to Snarticon DM. I seen him over in the Diaz Bros chat over on the Hardliners. Told him I was gonna be drinking some rum to his name. I'll be right back. Got a fresh bottle of that. What is it? Kraken. Be right back. All right. Looks like everybody hailed and billed. Hey, what's up, brother? Thanks for stopping by. This is for Snarton DM right here. I'm about to release the Kraken. Like, what was it? Liam Neeson said release or unleash. I'm sorry, man. I like that. I like that remake. I even like Wrath of the Titans better, and I like the old one too. I got the old one, so I don't really drink too much anymore, but every now and then I have a little bit. So there we go. A little bit of that right there. A little something, something. A little glug, glug, glug. You know, stuff's pretty good. A little glug-a-doo. All right. Cheers. Snarticon DM. Damn, this shit's pretty good. I always forget about that. All right. So here we go. We're going to work on this building. This thing's almost done. Phils. Hey, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Just finishing up this Lobo piece right here. I almost got most of it in there, and then I'm gonna kind of start adding some more shadows and stuff like that. Usually when I draw, I like to get in there, and I like to, when I'm doing the inks, I like to do the line work. Then I'll come in and start adding shadows and then effects. But at the same time, I'll be doing all of that as I'm working. You know, I let my brain kind of turn into a dog that's chasing the car. If I see something, I'll jump to different sides. And then, you got to kind of move around the piece so you can let the ink dry. Let's see if I could use this. Right here, I got a little envelope. I could use the side of that. But thanks for everyone that's stopping by. Thanks for everybody that's hitting the like and subscribe. You guys are awesome. Happy Monday. And happy Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. I think Tuesday should be a day to go to the movies and get tacos. I don't know. That's just me, you know. Taco Tuesday. What was I thinking? I was thinking about that the other day at work. That's a perfect day to go to the movies. Movies and tacos. It could be was it the tube and tacos? Watching the big tube. I don't know. That sounds pretty lame. Pretty lame. But yeah, man, if you're still there, Buzz, drop a link. Buzz has got an awesome anthology out right now on Fund My Comic, the website I was talking about earlier that I have my Butch Cleaver books up on. That's fundmycomic.com. And he's got his anthology up there in an awesome newsprint. And he's got all of his characters. He's got a badass universe with vigilantes, space bounty hunters or space heroes, the Ace, the vigilante that is Bloodbone. I've got some fan art of his. There's also some new characters too that are coming out that are going to be on there, and he has a really badass Viking story called the White Leopard, Curse of the White Leopard. So go over if you guys can check that out. That's his anthology book. Let's see here. I'm missing my ruler. I gotta go buy. I have a small little 12-inch ruler like this. This one's just too big sometimes, but yeah, I'll use it. Use it when I can. Yeah. All right. There's that. Looking forward to Sisu on Friday. I really want to go see that. Yeah, that we were just talking about that a minute ago. Those guys, they've been doing movies for like 20 years, I think. I don't know if they just decided to do an action movie or what, but because they have this movie called Rare Exports, I think that's what it's called. It's either Rare Exports or Rare Imports. Let's see. Phils, I watched this dude from New Zealand draw. Really? What's this dude's name? I'd like to check it out. Check him out. I know one dude from New Zealand, Drawn Sword Graphics, but he hasn't. I don't think he does live streams really. But he's got some cool. He's got a cool art book out, and he's working on some comics too. So, my goal is my like 10-year goal. The last 10 years went by, and I'm thinking I want to put out like a body of work. I want to have a pretty good body of work. I don't want to just have one book. So that's where I'm at. Like our boy Buzz here a minute ago, Acevedo, he's got a body of work. Body of work. So I'm gonna be drawing. I might even be writing some stuff too. I might even have a little prose. You never know. Batt Murk might be a little writer in there too. Doggone writer. Let's see here. DFL88. He's live every day. Oh, that's cool. So what do you think of? You think that's cool? The artists that stream every day, or does it get kind of annoying to see them every day streaming? That's just something I'm curious about. As a casual watcher, because I would probably go every day if I could, but I can't. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got some days I do this, some days I work on my books. I couldn't, but I plan on like showing myself how I make pages this year, hopefully on some projects, some less spoilery stuff. So yeah, I have like big plans for this channel and for for myself as a comic book creator, but we'll see what happens. Doesn't mean they're gonna come true, but you always got to have plans. Well, it's like watching people draw. If you can't draw, save your life. You just gotta try it. You just gotta practice. I agree with Jack Kirby that he says like anybody can draw comics. They just have to practice. Some people are born with it and they could catch on to it pretty quick. Some people aren't, so it takes them a little longer. But you could do it. And then there's a lot of people that kind of mess around and they don't get their work done. But if there's people out there that are down to work harder, they might not be as talented right away, but they'll work harder and they could catch up to people that are like naturally talented. So I don't know if that makes sense. I might not have said that the right way, but I agree with that too. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm being a dum-dum. There we go. But yeah, we were talking about that Liam Sharp Spawn book coming out this week. Looking forward to that. It's almost like Sharpvember, man. He put out that awesome Conan Savage Sword. Let's see, he drew my profile picture. Oh, that's cool. I can't really see it from here, but looks pretty badass from back here. It's hard to tell. But I could see yeah. A little something. It's one thing about art though, man. People can always watch people draw, I guess. Oh, it's Freddy Krueger? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna draw Freddy Krueger versus Jason X. I was thinking about maybe doing some of that. Cause yeah, this is, I'm a big horror fan. Yeah. I like my metal. It's not metal as fuck. It's got to be metal. And horror is definitely metal. But I like my favorite Freddy. I like the Freddy versus Jason, and I also like the New Nightmare. I like the New Nightmare Freddy. I don't think he gets enough fan art, if you will. And that's kind of my shtick. I like doing matches, like matchups. So, yeah. Any drawings of the nun from The Conjuring? No, I haven't drawn her yet. Who would she fight? You know who I would like? Who pops in my head? I would get a Belmont descendant fighting her from Castlevania. The only reason that popped in my head is because in the first movie, they're in like a castle, like that. They had like the Templar Knights fighting inside of it. I think, like in one of the back. Yeah. Hey, what's up, K-pop? How you doing? Yeah, the nun does have some cool powers. But yeah, I'd probably have like a Belmont fighting her. That'd be pretty cool, like in the castle, or like a Templar Knight. I'd have like maybe a Templar Knight fighting her. Just make up some random Templar Knight. Oh yeah, she could fight Reagan. Yeah, I think a Templar Knight would be pretty dope, though. Inside of like that. Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, like they're really inspired by Castlevania. The director, I think there's 2 directors that did the first movie. They were talking about it, and so I'm watching it and I'm thinking Castlevania the whole time. I'm watching the movie. I'm like, damn, okay. And then they had that like flashback scene with the Templars, and I'm just thinking, dude, that would be it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's kind of cheeseball for me to be drawing like battles all the time, but it's fun. I don't know, just kind of nerding out over shit, Not all my stuff's going to be like that, but I'm thinking probably about 75% of my drawings next year are going to be battles and stuff. just because that's my shtick. Let's see. Yeah, like those that'll always get me to draw. That'll always get me to draw for sure. I always love action, like in comic, like specifically fight scenes. And if I can have a bunch of gags in one drawing, that's the thing. And here we got a couple gags. We got he's dumping. I'm not even done with that either. I might even subtract some of his. He might even be getting blasted more. We got a little gag right here. We got another gag right here. We got the katana going through his thigh, breaking his arm. So we got that. So that's already 1, 2, 3 gags. So we got like 3 gags in here, And then he's got a little bit of blood right there too, dripping from that as well. Let's see here. Crossover epic. Let's see. Starting with sketch cards, just having fun. Yeah, definitely. Any Killer Instinct? Oh, Killer Instinct would be dope. I liked using Fulgore. And was it Tusk? Tusk. He was cool. And also Glacius. Oh, yeah, we're getting Mortal Kombat. And then next year, I really, really want to do like Inktober. Like I want to have a theme and just nail it like every day. Just boom, boom. I'd like to like live stream every single day next year. That would be awesome. And just draw it all live. That would be epic. I get jealous for the people that they get to do that. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that. I mean, I probably could. Except some of the weekend days would be kind of hard. Just gets hard sometimes. Oh yeah, Clay Fighters. Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that Killer Instinct. That one always gets like kind of like overlooked. Soul Calibur, but that one kind of made like a resurgence a little bit. Yeah. Let's see here. How's it going, A1? Pretty good, man. How you doing? We're doing a Lobo versus Loblo from the new 52 right here. Yeah. Let's see here. Number 1 draws Killer Instinct. Yeah, Killer Instinct's cool. I'm looking forward to that movie though, man. That Mortal Kombat. That's gonna be fun. Right now, I'm drawing the main man Lobo versus the new 52 Lobo, and he's seen better days. So yeah, now I'm drawing this doorway over here. Yeah, trying to keep it lined up just right. It's a little tricky. Let's see. Okay, that'll work. All right. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, Lobo's awesome. I don't know if I said it before though, but Kenneth Rocafort, he's like one of the most inspirational, like badass artists out there right now. He has a book called Broken. I've read the first issue, reviewed it. I have the second one. I still got to review that. And he's going to be launching the 4th campaign. He might have launched it already by now, but killer artist. I became a fan of his over his Red Hood and the Outlaws. During that time, or right before, he designed 4 Lobo characters, and this is the one that DC kind of signed off on. They called him like Twilight Lobo at the time. I didn't think he was a good Lobo, but I was reading the book just regardless. I think he would be a cool, like just an assassin type character. But he designed like 3 other Lobos that I really liked. Like a lot of them were really badass, from what I remember. And I was always thinking like if I ever did a Lobo book, I'm gonna have Bisley's Lobo go on a bounty hunt to take out the 4 Rocafort Lobos. He's going to travel different dimensions through time and space to take them all out. And I think that's such a Lobo style story, but yeah, are you like comic? Yes, definitely a comic artist. I'm an underground indie comic artist, not mainstream. So independent. And I do my own comics, and sometimes I work with other people as well. Let's see, have you read Conan and Solomon Kane? Yeah, actually, I've read almost all the Conan books. I'm reading the new Conan by Titan, and I'm reviewing all those books as well as Solomon Kane. Um, and I've read almost all the Solomon Kane stories. I think about 8 of them. So there's probably, I think there's 16. So maybe just half of them. Solomon Kane's awesome though, man. He's Solomon Kane and Conan. I like them the same. They're tied. Some days of the week I might like Solomon more. Some days of the week I might like Conan more. But yeah, I'm a big Robert E. Howard fan. He's my favorite writer by far. And if you're into that, man, you come to the right spot. I actually have like a whole section of barbarian book reviews. I call it Conan and the Barbarians. So I have Conan in there. I also got Kull in there. I got Barbaric in there. I got Khazar in there. I got Barbarian in there. What else do I have? Any type of barbarian book, I put it in there if I can review it. Yeah, so like, oh yeah, I'm writing a book called Hell War, and he's definitely a barbarian for sure, man. But he's a Norse bounty hunter, and he's on his last bounty. He works for Helnora, which is the goddess of hell, and she has his brother imprisoned within Helheim. As soon as he does this last job, this last bounty, she's gonna free him. So that's what the story is. He has to do this last thing. He gets his brother out, but then something happens, and she's like, "All right, well, you know what? I got one more mission for you." So she fucking makes him do another mission. So, yeah, that's how the story is. And he gets caught up. He has to do something for her, and it's basically like a story about you're carrying this burden and the burden of life and family, and what happens after that. Can he free his brother, and if he does free him, what's he going to do with it, and catching up, stuff like that. And it's it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. There is more to it, but if I explain more of the reason and stuff behind it, it would probably spoil the story a little. But that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to get in there. It's really action packed, but I do want to try to grab your heartstrings a little bit while you're reading it, if possible. I'm gonna do my best in my weird, sick and twisted way of doing it. But I definitely have like ideas for 2 sequels, just ideas. If it's only one book, then that's gonna be cool if I can actually get it done. And if it warrants a sequel or a third one, then I have that lined up too. So, but I don't have the stories for that. I have some ideas for it. But actually, to be honest, I do have a lot of stuff laid out for a sequel just in case, because a bunch of ideas just kind of floored my head towards the end of this book. I don't want to put too much ideas into like a whole trilogy, because I wanted to wait and let it kind of hopefully fester on its own. And if it comes to where I do get lucky enough to make sequels, then I kind of want to have some fresh stuff in my head to kind of pour into the book, because I feel that, like, if you're going to make a book for yourself, it's something that has to be made. Like, you're doing it because you have to do it, not because it's something to do. It's because you have to do it. Like these stories have to be, these characters are coming to you, and their stories have to be told. So if it's not something I have to do, then it's probably not the best story I should be working on next. I don't know. Kind of weird that way now. But yeah, I got the last page almost done. We're showing a little bit of right here, but if I showed the whole thing, it'd be like spoiling it. But that's part of the last page right there. He's holding someone's hand right there. I don't want to spoil it. Yeah. Then you got some ravens up there. That's the last page of Hell War right there. That's page like 100 and something. But I don't want to spoil it because then, it'll spoil too much. What else do I got? That's a spoiler. This is kind of a spoiler too. Can't show that. It's just like the last part of the book. It's just filled with a lot of little spoilery things. Yeah. But yeah, I'm almost done. Then I'm going to go back and just kind of do some edits. Then I got the editor is going to come in after I letter it. So there's still a lot of work to do, tons of work to do on it. And I'm working on the cover too. Yeah, that took forever. I haven't even started drawing it, but just coming up with the concept for the cover it was a bitch. It's really hard. Yeah. Hey, what up, Halder? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Just drinking a little rum and finishing up this Lobo piece right here. Yeah. Hope everything's well with you, man. Yep. See, a lot of this now, this has got to dry, so I'll erase that. Yeah. Yeah. Probably get a little bit right here. Hope everything's good with you, Halder. You've been working on your book at all lately? I think you said you're working on something like that. Okay. We got that right there. I make a little more of that. I kind of bring this hair in a little bit. Hey, what's up, Dave? Thanks for stopping by, man. Hey, when's your Ravik book coming out, man? There we go. Well, I think you got a book out right now too, or coming out too, right? I think I saw it on Twitter today. The Safeguard, I think. Some pretty metal-looking demons in there. Hopefully next year. Cool. Same here, man. Yeah, if you can, dude, put a link in the chat right now for people to go check out Safeguard. That book looks badass too. So for my comic, yeah, dude, definitely, you guys go check out Safeguard. Genuine Comics always gets the best art on his books. Really spectacular. Especially like Alan Goldman, man, that guy. Love his artwork, man. That guy could, yeah, I think his artwork, man, looks even with just flats on his work, you could just see all the line work, the flat colors, or even just black and white. See a lot of his work on Twitter. Really exceptional. One of the best artists out there right now in the scene, I think. Let's see. Let's see here. Halder 64. I'm good. It's just been busy at work. I don't have a story yet, but I have some rough ideas. More of a world concept and story right now. I'm trying to get better at drawing figures. For sure, man. Just keep doing your thing, Just when you get ready, sooner than later, just gonna have to do it. And you probably you might not like what you put out. Most artists don't, but you just got to put something out eventually when you feel a little bit comfortable. I would practice sequential art too, like figures, like moving figures and stuff like that. That's really I know you got a lot of like manga influences and stuff. Look into that, brother, and look at your favorite artists, like see what they're doing. That's what I recommend. Study Bridgman, but also like study your favorite artists. That eventually you're going to break off, even if you're aping them or copying their style a little bit. That's fine. Eventually you're going to break off and have your own style. There we go, guys. 90s Heroes Battle. The 7 powers of the pandemonium. Back it on Fun My Comic, FMC. Yeah, I gotta say, man, Genuine Comics has the like best looking like drawn books, some of the best top in the indie scene, you know, in the independent comic scene, you know. They look it looks I would say like mainstream, but his art looks better than 90% of the art in the mainstream on his book, so it far exceeds that. That's why I don't say mainstream. It's just a simple fact, you know. There's a lot of really good artists in the mainstream, but there's not that many. There's more sucky artists, in my opinion. Again, just opinions, you know. Oh yeah, for sure, man. I just calls it like I sees it. You know, a lot of the talent is gone now. You know, and the talent that is there, most of them are just doing covers. You know, they just do covers, and they make most of their money at conventions doing those commissions. You know, that's where the money's at now, which is cool. I'm down with that. You know, you know I could see why they're artists. You know, if they're artists, them drawing commissions, and that's what their artists that's what their calling is. You know, especially like a lot of the books are really woke and kind of retarded right now. So you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we want you to draw '90s Lobo a commission. Here's like, you know, a few $100. Like, what are you gonna do? You know? And then they pay you like really bad like page rates. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. They pay the editors below like poverty level. Like comics are kind of dead on like mainstream comics are dead. That's what I've been saying for a while. All the actions over here, like in the indies, the BD scene, and then the manga scene. That's where all the action's at. And I'm just looking for like new IPs, you know. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm one of those guys that's all about remakes and reboots and things like that. But there has to be like a point where you go like, okay, especially with comics, you know, you can only reboot something so many times. With movies, okay, yeah, it brings like the focus to the hate the word IP, but if it's good, then it'll bring people to the original source material. So like point in case if we're speaking about movies, look at the movie The Thing. If you watch John Carpenter's The Thing, you'll go back and watch, you know, the original because John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake. Okay, if you watch The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, you're going to go back and watch Lon Chaney's movie. You know, if you watch The Fly with Jeff Goldblum by David Cronenberg, you might go back and watch the original. If you watch Clash of the Titans with Liam Neeson and Sam Worthington, you might go back and watch the original. Okay, so there is some good remakes. They do exist, mostly in horror though. Um, but as far as comics, they just do it too much. That's my opinion, you know. Let's see here, Halder. Yeah, I want to try some thumbnail slash small scale layouts. I have some action scene ideas. I think I can lay out even if I can fully draw them yet. Yeah, you can just draw everything out in stick figures and start throwing some muscles on those. You know, slabbing those down. You know, well, what's helped me a lot lately too is just like kind of squiggling like where muscles would be. Like I lay down the the lines for where the bone structure should be. Then I just start going and let my kind of like go and just start squiggling around. You know, then I'll look at muscle. Uh, I'll start looking at anatomy stuff like you know, and then try to figure it in there. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect either. It should be off a little bit. You know, in my opinion, because it's a comic, it should be a little fake. Um, you want it to be a little rubbery sometimes. You know, like in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. It doesn't have to look like Alex Ross and stuff like that. You know, and that's why we like manga, right? What we like about it, we like the action about it. You know. See, like right here, this leg right here, this whole like knee, this is probably too long right here, but that's okay. You know, I'm down with that. It's you know these arms are way too big. He probably couldn't even hold his arm up that high, like in real, you know. But my art's always going to have a cartooniness to it. But I think all you know, I'm a cartoonist. There's a lot of rules to bend, and then you have to just get out there and be willing to mess up, man. You know. But I would say like so far your art is immaculate, bro. Like the way you can draw, the way you look at an image and you do that, it's yeah, immaculate. I mean, I could kind of do what you do, but I couldn't do it on that level. It wouldn't come out. Yours comes out perfect. You're like a photocopy machine, dude. Like I don't know how you do that. I see you kind of do it mathematically. I used to do that when I was younger. I would look at stuff. There was this picture of Deadpool. I used to be able to look at stuff and just draw it like um, without tracing it or anything. But it wouldn't come out. It would come out okay, but it wouldn't. Your shit comes out fucking perfect, like a Xerox. I would call you Halder Xerox, dude, because you're you line it up so perfect, man. Um, there was a. I'll have to find it. I'll have to find my old drawing books from when I was a kid. But there's this Joe. I used to love how to. Sorry, I used to love Marvel Masterpieces by Joe Jusko, the painter. And he had this Deadpool. I didn't even know who Deadpool was. I just thought he looked cool and I liked the name. And the only thing I knew of Deadpool was this one picture I had of him. And then I seen him in the X-Men cartoon, but I never read the comics or nothing. I just thought the character looked so cool. And he's just like down on his knee, like driving a sword, his katana into the ground. And I remember just looking at it and drawing it and like, damn, like I did a pretty good job. Like thinking to myself, like I was always so like happy with that at a young age. I think I was like 8 years old maybe. But I think that helps out a lot. Trying to draw things from what you look at. Like a lot of my friends or a couple of my friends were always trying to get me to use light boxes and stuff, but I never use light boxes. I always draw my thumbnails out like what I've seen on here like small like this, Then I'll take these and then I draw them bigger. I just draw them right on there, And then talking with Dan Plagle, I'm sure you know about Dan Plagle. That motherfucker would draw like 10 pages a day, bro. Like he would say, yeah, I'm drawing fantasy. I don't care if you're drawing fantasy or not. He was drawing like 9 to 10 pages a day. He would just picture it in his head and then just draw it out with pencil and then ink right on the 11 by 17 Bristol, And I'm like, to me, that was just, I like, that was inspiration for me. Just that thought process. I'm like, well, what if it's not good enough, man? And you have to start over. He's like, well, 90% of the time, the thumbnail that I think of, it's the one that I keep. So I just take it from my brain. If it doesn't work out, then I fucking throw the bristle away and I start over. He's like, when you got a family and you're paying the bills and you tend to think more tactfully and you go with your instincts. And I'm like, damn, he's right. So for me, I was doing fantasy for the new book and it was working out. It works a lot, And I guarantee you that's what Jack Kirby was doing because he was putting out so many books, and his book is just like all like impact, like hard hitting. A lot of people rag on Jack Kirby, but his big fists and stuff. And go look at the old Kirby from back in the day. That was what he chose to kind of to tell those hard hitting like stories, And he's an artist too that I take inspiration from. But it's also in respect to Walter Simonson, he's really inspired by him too as well. So I would say I'm more like inspired by Walt Simonson's Ragnarok. But I love Kirby's work too, man. I like those big fists; they look cool. But I'm excited to hear that you're working on your stuff and you're building up your lore. I just want you to. I want you to put your work out there. I'm always trying to get people to put their work out there, their characters or their comics. Because, yeah, man, like there's a lot of us, but not that much, man. Like really, there's not that much of us, like that are actually putting out books in the indie scene. Let's see here. Thank you. I just break the image down into outlines and then fill them in. If I get the outlines accurate, it helps keeping the rendering looking good too. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see your stuff. I'm looking for more of like more my stuff now. I don't from the because with Hell War, it's really like kind of cheesy like anatomies and stuff like that. I've talked about it before, even like this. But I would like for like Hell War, I would draw like just like this arm. I would make his tricep come all the way out right here. And in reality, it wouldn't do that. In reality, you wouldn't even see this part of this guy's tricep right here. You would just see like a little bit of that, you know. But with Hellwar, I'd make the big tricep pop out right here. You'd have a big old bicep right there, just for fun. Like I don't give a fuck, you know. And then I would make his shoulders extra big. They would just kind of come up right here. Boom, boom. He's got a little bit right there, you know. And then I give him a little waist. And then his brother, he would have tiny biceps or like long biceps, like that. And then I would make his triceps even bigger. So I would just have these weird kind of musculatures for my characters, and they were kind of like, just kind of based off of like kind of like Saturday morning cartoon, like He-Man and stuff. But then even more like also like the 90s characters, but then even more exaggerated than that, like just having fun. And I like doing stuff like that sometimes. But now I'm thinking like on some of my newer stuff, I'm not going to be doing that as much anymore. I'm going to try to scale it back a little bit. And I want to start using a lot more brush and a lot more brush and nibs. I think that'll be really fun, but scary. if you drop that ink on the page, whoo, that ain't fun, man. That's not fun. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard too, man. You gotta keep people working on their books. A lot of people leave. They stop making comics, Comics will break your heart, especially if you're a creator, if you let it. I've been watching, I'm sure a lot of you guys watch that YouTuber Matt with the 4Ts. He's got a new one about how like manga took over the American comic industry. It's like an hour and a half. It's interesting. Very interesting. I haven't finished it yet though, but it's good stuff. Yeah, it's been raining pretty crazy over here. I don't know how it is for you guys. Thanks for everybody that stopped by. Hit the like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Again, I'm gonna be watching Death Stalker again tonight. One last time. I mean, I rented it, and I like the movie. It is a little cheesy, but it's supposed to be, That's like the charm of the movie, Yeah. It's like Hercules and Xena. I used to love watching Hercules and Xena when I was a kid. And I didn't even know that like Sam Raimi had anything to do with it. I was watching that before I watched Evil Dead. I didn't even know about Evil Dead. Can you believe that? And I learned of Evil Dead from watching Hercules and Xena. I remember an Army of Darkness commercial. I've told the story a bunch of times. I was watching I was watching Hercules and Xena. I think it used to come on Saturday nights, and they had them both on. And one of the commercial breaks, boom, you get that trailer for Army of Darkness. It literally just came out of nowhere, man. I'm like, what the hell is this? And right off the bat, I just thought like, dang, this reminds me of Gargoyles. Like the first 3 episodes of Gargoyles where they're in Scotland and they got the castle and the Vikings are breaking in, or not breaking in, but they're trying to take over that castle. And I'm like, this looks cool. This guy's got a chainsaw arm, and wow, we're just blown away. But that I almost got a little bit of that from the new Death Stalker movie. A little bit of that. It brought back some nostalgia of Hercules and Xena and Army of Darkness. And I'm gonna try to do a review of it tonight, and if I don't get too tired. And yeah, that director, he's cool, man. I wanted to do Alien vs. Predator review of that, but it's kind of late. Hopefully Sisu. Hopefully I can see Sisu this weekend. Try to hit the homie up, see if he's down. Not, I might have to go by myself, which isn't bad. It's kind of fun sometimes. I seen the I went and saw the Northman by myself. That and the Batman. Yeah, the Northman though, that was epic. Oh man. Oh wow. What movie was it? Death Becomes Her. Have you guys seen that one? Robert Zemeckis. What's his name? Bruce Willis. He's always like, "Oh boy, oh boy." Let's see here. I tried a couple of Halder. I tried a couple figure sketches from manga, starting with the skeleton and building it up. They were a bit off from the reference, but I was surprised at how they turned out. Yeah, I could see you just really catching on, like really quick. Uh, are you familiar with that YouTuber Zach ZHC? I used to watch that cat, man, like when he first started. Um, he was one of the first YouTubers I saw, and back then, like he was, Dave Finch was on YouTube a lot, or he was on. At least he had his drawings on a lot, and then yeah, he was one of the first subscribers I subscribed to. It was ZHC. It was Comic Artist Pro Secrets. It was Jimmy Reyes too, believe it or not. At the same time, I'm talking like 8 years ago, dude. David Finch, Crowdfunding Comics. That was Billy Tucci's old channel. That channel was dope. They used to have people on all the time. Strip Panel Naked. That was a dope ass channel too. It's gone now. Go check out Strip Panel Naked, bro. If you haven't, anybody that's a comic book creator, go check out Strip Panel Naked. And they just break down comics. It's so fun. Like, yeah. Hopefully that channel's still up. But I don't really see that many channels like that anymore, where they really just break down comics and they talk about panel progression and suspense, time in comics, like suspension of time, slowing things down, speeding things up, creating mood, creating drama, creating suspense, like all of that stuff. Left to right, I call it the reverse Zorro. um, or the Zorro, actually not the reversed, but yeah, that channel was so good. And yeah, man. Anyways, that dude, his old videos are dope. Just that guy really got good really quick. I think he, at least, he would show his like his progress videos. Now he doesn't do it anymore because he's like a multi-millionaire. Now he just does the art challenges, but he's good. I think you're one of those people that can just like really get good, like just keep leveling up really fast. Just watch go check out some of his shit. I know he doesn't do it anymore, but his stuff's dope, dude. But you gotta go back. You gotta go back to like, because my kid watches it. Both of my kids are watching ZHC, and I'm like, dude, this is that kid. And he had his girlfriend, and then they got married. Now they're like in their late 20s. I think when they first started, they were young, like college kids. I'm like, that dude. I know that dude wants to make comics, bro. And he took his like character, his comic character, and made it like his like mascot or his like logo or whatever. I'm like, I know that fool wants to make comics, bro. He don't want to be just doing these fucking art challenges with his homies all the time. I know the money's good, but if you want to make comics, like you want to make fucking comics. Like there's not really any money out there. But imagine, dude, if that fool could like, I don't know. But he got really good really quick. And I know he was working with box office. The box office artist is good too. That guy's pretty dope. But he's good. And then just watching people draw live. Who was it that really kind of helped me help me level up? It was Daniel Warren Johnson. Watching that guy draw live. Oh man, I know he's real political now and stuff, but he does his Friday with D-Dubs, his channel. I used to watch that. He doesn't do it all the time though. He does it like every now and then. But I remember watching one of his shows. He would just like he was like busy just throwing everything in there, to do some stuff. It's just looking at that, and then it's also the tools that you have too. I think tools are a big thing. Oh, I got 15% left on my battery. Trying to let my battery die. I hear that it's good to let your battery die sometimes. Or all the time. You're not supposed to charge your phone. You're supposed to let it die and then plug it in. Yeah. shoot, if I was a multimillionaire, I would have my own like a big comic book company, and I would just have like a bunch of comics out. I would be hiring all like these artists and telling all these stories. I would be pretty much like Stan Lee. I'd be like Stan Lee. Um, be writing a lot. I'd be writing some of them. I'd have writers, artists. I'd come in and do my little stupid covers for some of them. I'd be drawing. I'd probably be working on one of my own, but writing probably like a bunch of them, you know. And I would just be like hiring people and paying people, like hooking them up. I'm talking like multi-billionaire style though, you know. Like I'd want to make it to where people were getting hooked up. I'd be bringing in like a lot of new talent too. I'd be bringing in a lot of old talent. I'd be bringing in people like mid-level talent that have been here forever that just need to get exposure. Um, yeah, that would be so cool. Imagine that being like a billionaire and you could just do that, like Elon Musk, like not Elon Musk, but I guess like maybe like Mr. Beast style, something like that. Instead of making like fucking beef jerky and little toys, you know, and handing out money to just random people, I would be like hooking up artists and stuff and influencing culture, the underground comic book scene. I'd bring back the American comic book scene, like booyah. Let's see, there's a channel called Steven Travers Art. I learned a bunch from, but it's not comic focused. He does ink sketches from photos and explains his process. Great videos. Yeah. You need to do that. You also need to check out comic book, you know, sequential art videos too. Strip Panel Naked's awesome. I'm sure there's millions of more channels out now that are just as good that I don't even know about, dude. But that's a also cartoonist kayfabe, dude. That show has a lot of they talk about that a lot too. You know, just make sure, brother, that you're having a good time and you're telling the story that has to be told. You know, that's in your mind, like it's fighting to be told. Like that character is standing over you, like you telling my story, fool. Are you telling my story? You know what I mean? Like that's the story you always have to tell first. You know, and it might even be you might even have a story that you're like you might even have three stories lined up, right? And then this new story just comes out of nowhere and it's like, no, with a new character, maybe a new genre, and it's like, no, you're telling my story next, you know? Sometimes that happens to me. Happened to me the other day. I came up with a whole a whole world, you know, and that's the thing, right? Is that we that's the fun part is just kind of playing with lore and building worlds and all that crap. But the story, like buckling down and doing the story, that's the hard part. You know, nobody wants to do that, and that's what I want to do, man. That's what Genuine Comics is doing, man. He's telling all kinds of stories in his artworks. He's getting the dope ass artists, you know, getting these sick artists in here. Yeah, man, it's yeah. You just got to get out there, you know. Be willing to like I always say, be willing to fuck up, you know. Don't be afraid of what other people think too much. Care what people think a little bit, but not too much, man. You know, because you don't want to be a fucking psycho. But there's a little bit, you know, like care a little bit, but not too much. Listen to people a little bit, but not too much. Like if people critique your art or your work, listen to them. You know, take what you need as constructive. If they're gonna go out of the way to talk that much shit, there might be some validity to it. There might not be, but it's definitely something that should be taken as note of. You know, should be notating it in your brain, taking notes. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. If someone reads my book and they're like, "Man, your art sucks," telling me all this and that, I'm gonna be like, "Thank you, man. Thanks for reading my book." Like, you know, like like it's hard, dude. It's hard to get people to read your book, and you know. But at the same time, like my book's been out for like I've been done with it for so many years, so it's like I kind of like got all the critiques I've got on it already. So, but it really doesn't matter. Like if someone comes and critiques like Frankenstein or Dracula, and it's been out for 200 years, it's still kind of relevant, I guess. You can kind of cherry pick through what you want, That's the way I see it, anyways. Let's see here. Um, I just discovered a book called How to Read Nancy. It covers a sequential storytelling form from Nancy comic strip. Haven't read it yet, but it's on my reading list. Hey, what's up, nobody? Welcome, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, and activate the notification bell to watch more enjoyable content. Wow, thanks, nobody. I really appreciate that. You're awesome. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I really want to do like fantasy. I'm really just into kind of sword and sorcery. But I figure like we haven't like there's a lot that still could be done with it. Kind of like subgenre wise, without spoiling too much of an idea that I have. Yeah. What's that? Right now, just adding a bit of this and that. I like to kind of look at the mirror, step back from it from a long time, or for a little bit of time. And even when I'm done too, I might go in there with some white paint and add some highlights, or I might even change the eyeballs around. There's all kinds of stuff I'll do. Like Lobo, a lot of times his eyes are just blood red, and they're just there's no pupil in there sometimes, depending on the artist. And I wanted both of these eyes to be really cracked out, like really, like damn, this guy looks like a freaking nut, dude. Like he's just insane. And this, I'm not too happy with this right here. Like it's serviceable, but it's not brutal enough for me yet. So, but it's all good. We'll get there. It'll happen. It'll happen. And thanks for you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Well, I hope you guys have a blessed week too. And a nice Taco Tuesday. Yep. Oh, thanks, man. Hey, I'm actually building up my store over on Big Cartel right now. It's almost done. I'm gonna start selling my artwork on there and my comics. Also, pretty soon I'll have my comics on there. People can buy the comics if they want. And I'm gonna have some art up there too, so people can buy the art. I'm just gonna have like probably 3 pieces at a time, and then I'll probably like rotate those out a little bit depending on like relevancy and what's selling and what's not. If I see a pieces up there and it's just like people aren't really feeling it, I'll get rid of it. Yeah, for now that's how I'm gonna do it, and then if I get if I start selling more art, then I might expand the store and put up more artwork. But that's what I'm doing right now. I think as artists too, we need to produce more work. Yeah, I know I do. I look at like I look at Bisley, man. Like I guess he's a good example. You look at Bisley, he's done so much work in his life. It feels like, you know. So like these next 10 years, I want to have a body of work and I want to have a lot of art, and that's going to be hard, but I am up for the challenge. Like Butch Cleaver 1, one of the things the critiques was, hey Matt, your fonts suck on this, Um and I'm like, no, this shit's tight. I like these fonts. This is gothic, this is a gothic book. I use a gothic font. Like, yeah, no, it's a comic language, bro. Like you don't gotta go in there. some people do that, but you don't got to go in there and like try to change the language of comics. You know, it's fucking stupid. Don't do that. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do it my way. You know. So I got that from one person, but I didn't tell him that. I say, okay, oh, okay, you know. And then another person tells me, and then another person tells me, and by the third person, if three people, that's my golden thing. If three people tell you that like something's off, then you might want to look into that shit, you know. And it wasn't my friends either that were telling me that, you know. So that's always a good thing. You don't want your mommy, your daddy, or your buddies to be giving you critiques. And if it's your buddies, they better be giving you some tough love, you know, because it's not going to help you any. Unfortunately. There we go. A little bit of rib action. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. I just look at the comic book scene and the indie scene, even just like since the dawn of the indie scene. I just look at all like, you know, wouldn't it have been cool if like some of them got more like help financially to kind of make the books they want, you know? I feel like we missed out on a lot of stuff, a lot of IPs because certain people didn't get the love they needed financially, you know. All it would have took was some billionaire to come in there and just fucking save a lot of people. Obviously, the cream rises to the top, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I think that it would have been amazing. The cream always rises to the top. Yeah. I think on the next stream too, I'm just gonna start doing like just little bells and whistles shit, you know? It'll be the last stream of this that I do for this character or for this piece. It's coming out okay though. It's not perfect, not 100% of where I wanted it, but I'm happy with it nonetheless. I want to be up to a point to where I can like look at like think of something in my head, and what's in my head is on the paper. You know, that's what Bernie Wrightson was, the Swamp Thing creator, and more recently the inspiration behind Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. There was a lot of Bernie stuff in there. There's a whole scene where Victor Frankenstein's sitting in the window, was taken right out of Frankenstein. There's his loft in the beginning. It's the same loft basically from the book. They also took the whole table. There's the famous, you know, the most famous Bernie Wrightson page where the monster is grabbing Victor by the shirt, and they're inside the lab, and it's huge, and you can see all like the chemistry, you know, glass and bongs and all that shit, you know, and it's in the movie. If you look over, it's off to the side inside the inside the lab, in the final lab that you know that roided up lab that he gets, right. Um, there's that's the Bernie stuff, you know, and I'm sure there's more in there too. A lot of people were hating on the new movie, and a lot of people like it. I loved it, man. There's just like all these reasons people are crying about it, you know, and I'm like, dude, it's just you almost said he would have made it like spot on like the novel exactly like 10 years ago, but now he wanted to make a different story, you know. I think that the ending is the most powerful, you know what I mean? Uh, with the creature becoming a hero at the end. I think that was cool. There's 400 different versions. I kind of liked how they made it like a super like. Let's see here. I still haven't seen Frankenstein. I might look for a download. Yeah, it's so far it's the best movie of the year. I haven't seen Sisu yet, but yeah, it's the best movie of the year for sure. Just all around best movie. Yeah, it's Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is what it is. That's what the movie should be called, as far as I'm concerned. Unapologetically, I might add. A lot of people are like complaining. They're like, "Oh, it's too much Latin in there." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. It is. It is kind of got some Latin influence, but I don't give a fuck. That shit's awesome. That's fine with me. He's Mexican director, Is what it is. If you don't like it, go watch one of the other 399 versions of it. You can go watch Kenneth Branagh's version. He's English. I'm sure he throws some British influence in there. Um, but yeah, and the thing is too, what Guillermo and Brana did with their versions of Frankenstein, I think they improved on. In Branagh's version, um, his wife becomes the bride of Frankenstein. That's cool. I always think it's cool when they do that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but also in Branagh's version, what I didn't like, there's like probably like three. There's a few things. I'm not a machine, but there is a few things. I can't remember everything, but there's a few things that he improved on. But one of the things I don't like that he did was Robert De Niro. I thought he was great in the role, but he's not he's not he's not the best cast for the role. You need someone big because the monster is supposed to be like 8 feet tall. Yeah, like Del Toro's Pinocchio. That's a Mexican Pinocchio. That's his Mexican version of it. And it was good, right? Once you get to a point, it's like, dude. And the thing is, like a lot of movies that we like and things and fairy tales, they're not exactly the same. You know, and I get I don't know. It's just kind of hard. I feel kind of weird about. I guess right now I feel like you probably want to put your stamp on it. But then another part of me is like, well, if you're gonna adapt somebody's stuff, like be faithful to it, or do your own shit, you know. But I don't know. A part of me is like, yeah, I don't know. But that's from my perspective. If I'm gonna do something, I kind of feel that way. But I don't mind. Like I don't mind Guillermo's Pinocchio and his Frankenstein. They were cool, man. And he's been putting Frankenstein isms in all of his movies since the get go. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the ending either, since you haven't seen it, Halder. But I kind of, I have the book. I've read it. um, for me, if I was gonna do Frankenstein or Dracula, since we're just speaking about that, I would probably do it exact. I would might do it just exactly the same as the as the as the novel, and that's how Guillermo was too. Probably when he was my age, like 40. He's 62 years old now. And he's gone through like a lot of shit in his life. And sometimes people, I mean, people do change. Some people say, "Oh, people never change." They you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but people do change. They do change. I've seen people change. They do change. Um, so for me right now, Matt Burke, circa 2005, if I was going to direct a Frankenstein or um, Dracula movie, I would probably do it exactly the same as the book, just because it's never been done before. No one's ever fucking done it. In some ways, the closest thing we've got to Dracula from the book was the new Eggers Nosferatu, and then Bram Stoker's Dracula by Coppola, you know? So just so we could have like a definitive one. But then there's a part of me where I know that like I'm a big fan of both of those and I have my own ideas for these characters, you know? And I would probably switch some shit up. Like Guillermo did when he was 60. He's like, yeah, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change the ending, you know? So people change their mind on shit, you know? I do too. I'm guilty of it too, you know? Yeah, I think I might make this more like I Frankenstein a little bit, you know? I don't know. To me, there's because like okay, one little spoiler. Like Victor, he doesn't dig any bodies up in the new movie. He has them like he has that shit on point. For me, there's something that's really like kind of gross and scary and horrific about him going in there and digging up bodies. That shit's fucking creepy, dude. You know, I would make it really scary the Frankenstein movie if I did it. It would be really horrific. That's how I would do it. Now I would do it exactly like the novel. That's how I would want to. That's how I would want to see it now. You know, tragic. The monster is a fucking monster. It's really kind of how it is. How I would do it. If I deviated from, I would do that. It's kind of how he is in the Brana version. But Halder, I'll let you know though, like the Brana version and the Del Toro version, I have them tied for my favorite, you know. So, but I am a Frankenstein. I do like the Frankenstein movie, sitting with Dracula. But I'm gonna get going now, guys. Oh shit! What's up? What's up, Omer? I'm just about to bounce right now. My phone's about to die. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Thanks for hitting the like. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go finish watching Deathstalker right now. You should do a live stream right now, Omer. All you guys go over, the 5 you watching, go over to Omer's stream. I'm gonna finish watching Deathstalker and try to do a review on it. I actually like the movie. I recommend Deathstalker if you guys are into that. It's definitely like Hercules and Xena. Also Army of Darkness and Hellboy, like Hellboy from the comics. So those, that's and also the old Deathstalker, a little bit of Conan thrown in too. But it's very charming, if you will, and fun. It's a fun movie. It's $5 on Prime right now. So I got 48 hours left. I'm gonna try to watch it tonight and maybe even tomorrow. Daniel Bernhardt really, he really keeps the movie together. I'm working on some stuff for Apex's campaign page. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's what's up, brother. Omer's always helping everybody out. You guys go subscribe to Omer Glitch. Go subscribe to Halder. These guys are artists in the scene right now. Show them some love. That would be awesome. You guys go out there and get some tacos. Watch some tubes. Some movies on the tube. Tacos and tubes. That's what I'm gonna call Tuesdays, right? I think every day of the week needs to have an identity that's not so fucking brutal, right? Because everybody calls Monday like fun day. I call it Monday Metal Mondays. Taco Tuesdays. Wednesdays, what is it? The hump day. I call it the bridge day. Thursdays, I call it Thursdays is a Friday Junior, you know? And Friday is, TGIF, baby. Every day needs to have like a fun feel to it, That way you get up and like, fuck yeah. I don't know. I'm cheesy that way, guys. But thanks again, everybody, for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I hope you guys have a prosperous week. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know you roll. I'll see you guys next time, and keep it fucking metal. Peace.